Event number 1 of the 2016 Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup came to Vojens in Denmark, and it turned out to be another memorable night of racing. A good crowd on a very hot, humid evening in Vojens went into the Vojens Speedway Centre hoping that the Danish side wouldn't need the race off and they would win the meeting to go through to the World Cup final in Manchester 7 days later. But things went against them. There were exclusions, there were bike failures, and the Poles were dominating the early stages. They had heat winners in Patrick Dudek, former World Under-21 champion, with 2 wins under his belt, riding quite beautifully early on. And they were magnificent, with Bartosz Schmarslik continuing his good Grand Prix form as well. Hans Nielsen, the coach of Denmark, in charge for the first time, trying to rally his troops. Michael Jepsen Jensen, the pick of the Danish riders early on, and then Niels Christian Iversen, the skipper, clipped the back straight, landed on his shoulder, but thankfully he was okay to take his place later in the meeting. At one stage, the Danes were 9 points behind Poland, but slowly but surely, Denmark started to claw their way back. They still suffered the odd exclusion, they still suffered the odd blow, but they still kept coming back for more and refused to lose belief. Emil Sayfutdinov in Russia, he was the main man on the night individually with 5 wins out of 6 rides, rode brilliantly. Exclusions kept on coming. Bartosz Schmarslik out for the Poles, and some good racing down to the line as well. Sayfutdinov for Russia continuing his magnificent form. At one stage, it was the Poles who were 9 points up, but in the space of 4 heats, well, Denmark were able to claw it back. An exclusion for Iversen, with referee Susanne Hutinger throwing out Bartosz Schmarslik at one stage for elbows in the first turn. That allowed the door open for Denmark to claw the racing back to 1 point with 2 heats to go. But 5 points from the last 2 heats saw Poland home. Poland through to the final, and now it means it's Denmark and Russia in the race-off.